Good afternoon, everyone. It's 4:45 here in the UK on Tuesday, the 3rd of August. As always, looking at VectorVest US, and the market been open now a couple of hours. Not a great deal of breadth in the market, as you can see. I find it very difficult to be bearish because the S&P 500 is pushing on all-time highs. I find it very, very difficult to be very bullish because the breadth of the market is so poor. And as you can see, the breadth of the market, as measured by the VectorVest buy-sell ratio, right down at 0.56. So 2,000 odd shares on a sell recommendation, 1,100 odd shares on a buy recommendation. So we have short-term trend is up, the underlying trend is up, but the longest measure of the trend on VectorVest is down, and that won't turn up onto the buy-sell ratio moves above 1, and we've got a bit of work to do before that can happen. But all is not lost, folks. So let's have a look. I think I have the market timing chart open. That's the VectorVest composite of all of the shares that we follow on the American markets, and as you can see, the thing has been going nowhere since March. If I put on our longest term measure of the trend, you can see that this thing has got whipsawed, but the longest measure of the trend turned down on the 13th of July, and it's still down. Okay, and as I say, this buy-sell ratio needs to go up above 1 before that can turn back up again. Not a great deal of direction from the MTI, no divergence signals the MTI just with its head above water, meaning that the underlying trend is up by what, 3 ticks. Let's have a look at my old friend the S&P, and ladies and gentlemen, this morning I had a negative bias on the S&P when I got started at the open because of that outside bar. I didn't trade it yesterday, but that outside bar gave me a negative bias, and if we actually look at the chart, as you can see, it broke down through that low, and that was a nice short. And then I got stopped out on the second half of the position at entry, and as yet I haven't got back into it on the long side. If I have a look at the 24-hour market, this is the 24-hour market, and this is starting to look very interesting, folks. Just remember that we're in the run-up to a non-farm payroll week. That's non-farm payrolls, huge number coming out on Friday. We had a number coming out yesterday. The PMI, manufacturing PMI, came out as expected, a very good number. So this is this move up, and we've had this consolidation. And those of you that are technicians will know that there's normally five waves in the consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this pattern is pretty much complete. And as you can see, at least I hope you can see, this market was in fact bought vigorously down around those lows. And as you can see, it ran stop losses there, it ran stop losses there by a tick or two. So if it finishes like this, this is a very, very positive pattern, and we can quite easily see a break on the upside from this. So just watch the market, folks. We could get a signal from the American market, and that would mean that all of this should be repeated, and that would take us out of this ghastly consolidation that we've been sitting in since March, this move since March. So all is far from lost in the US markets, and that's been a very, very strong move this afternoon. Let's see if it can follow through. I have some positions, and Crocs is up. This EVC position, I got stopped out today at my entry point. We'll have a look at that. The rest of them are going okay. If I have a look at those three, that's Crocs. There we are. Bought into it somewhere up around here. It's in profit, and that's the stop loss. That came out of my analysis of the Midas Touch watch list towards the end of last week. That's ANAT that I've been sitting in. Stops at entry, and I think I should take some profit in that. But this got in at about 150. Again, it's one of my spring formations, so that's going okay. And that is EVC. That's my entry point just there, and it came down and clipped that this morning. So out of that, no profit, no loss. What can you do? If we have a look at the gold market, I thought we were away to the races here, but I wouldn't be at all surprised, folks, to see a pullback to this trend line, which would also be 78% of that. So if we can get through these tops, well and good, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this pull back, so the 8-day stochastic moves back down into the oversold region. And that would take us down to about 1778, so not the end of the world, but I think that we'll probably come back and run those stops. The seasonality for gold is starting to look very good, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that pull back a little bit. If we have a look at the weekly view, we can see that the weekly view, the stochastic is right down, the 8-week stochastic is right in a place where it's always been quite good to get into the gold market, when it's down around these levels, as you can see. And the 8-week stochastic on gold and silver and platinum, pretty much all the commodities, if you can find a signal to buy the market down around when the 8-week stochastic is oversold, that invariably sets up a good risk to reward trade. And when the 8-week and the 8-day are in the same place, i.e. oversold, that finesses a really good entry. So we can move from here, that's for sure, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see this pull back down to here. I'm still holding those 2 gold stocks in the UK. They're doing well, they're paying a 5 or 6% dividend yield, so I'm not at all worried about them. Those of you that are not in the gold market, well, just sit and do nothing, folks, until you see this trend line going. And I think if you see a close or a couple of closes above this trend line, then this ghastly pattern that's been a year in the making now, that's been very frustrating, will be finally over. And if that's the case, I shall be adding to gold stocks, and adding to them quite vigorously, because the target from this consolidation will be about 2,300. So very frustrating period in gold and in silver, but that's the nature of the animal. So let's go back and look at the American market, and nothing much has changed. The S&P is now up a full 18 points on the day, and I quite like the look of this for a breakout on the upside. So we shall see. I'm going to do my best now in the next few minutes to see if I can find an entry. Should have been into it just about there. Wasn't paying attention after that double bottom. That's quite a positive development this afternoon. We shall see. We shall see. Hard to see a great deal of action in the run-up to non-farm payrolls on Friday, and hard to see a great deal of action, ladies and gentlemen, until after the Fed's big powwow in Jackson Hole in the last week of August. So I suspect we're going to go in to summer markets. In the UK, we are back on a confirmed up. UK market looking very strong. As you have read, UK people this morning or yesterday, another bid, so another large UK company bought out by Parker Hannifin at a huge premium over the share price, and that's pretty much saying that the London market looking very cheap indeed. I'm very happy with our selection in the London market. The only two that are laggards are those 2 gold stocks, and I have great hopes for those when this sideways pattern in gold is over. That's quite a turnaround in the in the S&P this afternoon, off those lows, and lots of people trapped down around those lows, and that's one of the signs of a really great trade, folks. If you can see that lots of people have been trapped, and clearly there was lots of shorts. There have been lots of shorts in that market today, including me, based on that outside day we had yesterday, and those people were all trapped and on that turnaround. So we've had a turnaround, what, that's 32 points in a few minutes while I've been making this video, in fact. So that bodes very well indeed, and I remain positive that once we get the summer over, that we've got another big run in these American markets towards the end of the year. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them going significantly higher from here in the absence of any world event. So I remain optimistic and positive. But I shall be trading the market rather than my stomach. That's an incredible turnaround this afternoon. Let's see what happens next. Thanks very much, folks. I'll do a longer review of the UK market later in the week, but as I say, I haven't done anything since the last time I have reported. I'm very happy with the holdings that I have. Thank you.